Hey, what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacules, and today we're going to be reviewing the 3Doodler Create, which is a 3D printing pen. This means it's not the whole machine, it's literally an extruder that you hold in your hand and you create things. Now you guys may recall a couple of years ago I reviewed a really cheap Chinese knockoff 3D printing pen. It was like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon and it was an absolute piece of crap and it was a train wreck and a total disaster. Now the 3Doodler guys seem to think that this is going to change my opinion of the technology, and they even sent me these nice stylish glasses that you see on my face that they created with one of these pens. Now they also sent me over some accessories. We have a nozzle set, which the other 3D printing pen I had didn't even have interchangeable nozzles. They also sent the Doodle stand, which is a little stand for holding the pen and all the little accessories and all that stuff, so that's kind of cool. And they also sent me an assortment of materials here. We have 100 strands of plum purple. As you can see, it's not 100 strands of plum purple, so that was some labeling problems. And they also sent some flexible filament so that we can print, well, flexible things. Now, if you guys would like to watch the original 3D printing pen review, I have a link down in the video description so that you guys can see all of the problems that I had with it. Now, we're gonna reflect on that as we move through this video. So let's go ahead and start off by unboxing all of this stuff, and then let's see if we can get creative.
You guys ready for this?
All right, so the first thing you'll notice on the back of the box is it says over 65 colors. Now that's correct, there is over 65 colors because you don't just have to use their filament. You can also use normal 3D printer filament that comes on a spool.
Come on, baby. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. Oh, yeah.
So it says plug it in, switch it to high. It says it'll take 60 to 90 seconds for the 3Doodler to heat up and the light will change from red to blue. Then it says insert your ABS plastic. Now, I find it interesting that they say the ABS plastic because that's what comes with it, but I'd imagine that it works with other filament types too, like PLA and stuff like that, because to be honest, ABS is not my favorite material. Yes, it's incredibly durable, but it also smells kind of toxic when you're dealing with it. So I'd prefer something like a PLA, but we'll play with that as we're going through this review. Now it says doodle onto a page. While doodling, push down into the page. This helps the plastic stick to the surface and then lift up and hold steady and doodle up into the air. All right. So at least this came with instructions. The other pen did not. It's actually kind of a nice box. So it looks like we have a quick fix guide. We have a manual. We have even more filaments here. Let's see, what do we got? This is the, PLA. Right there, guys. So you can use PLA. They actually provided it. And it looks like we have ABS right here. All right, so we have the pen right here. And I can already tell you it's actually pretty lightweight. It's a lot easier to hold in the hand. Oh my gosh, the old 3D printer pen was huge. It felt like you were holding onto some giant frickin' uncomfortable thing. This actually feels like you're holding a pen. It's very slim and sleek design. It looks like up here at the top it has an off, low, and high settings. So the low temperature is presumably for the PLA, and the high temperatures for the ABS, which has a much higher melting point, nearly 60 C higher. All right, see what else we got in the bottom of the box. Looks like we have an AC adapter. Wow, this thing only outputs 5 volts at 1.2 amps. So that gives you guys an idea that think 3D printers use a lot of power. They really don't. The heated beds are what use all the power. The hot end, surprisingly not a lot. All right, looks like we got a little itty bitty screwdriver. And you know what? It looks like it's just about the right size to fit in that little itty bitty hole on the side. So I'm gonna have to check the manual and see what the hell that's for. Okay, it looks like we have another tool here. This will come in handy. So this looks like it's for pushing the material through so that you can put new material into the pen. That is awesome. I am glad that they have a tool for that because the other 3D printing pen that I had, backing the filament out of it was a pain in the butt, and then getting the old filament out was even more of a pain in the butt. So we'll play around with this a little bit. So there is our little wrench. This is the guy used for removing the nozzle off the end of this thing so you can put on different size nozzles. Now, looking in the box, it doesn't look like it comes with any different size nozzles. So I'm glad that they sent the nozzle set because they got the tool in here to remove the nozzle, but they don't have any extra nozzles in the box. So remember, if you buy one of these, get the nozzle set. They also include this quick fix guide, which has solutions to the most common problems. And they show you the tool is for removing the tip so that you can get a little bit of filament out of it if the drive gear can't engage it any longer. So it's nice that they have all the instructions on here how to get you out of these situations because honestly, the other pen, again, didn't have anything. It was a blank box with a piece of plastic inside of it. Okay, to make this process easier, I'm going to tape down this little piece of paper so that it's not moving all over the place. Let's go ahead and put some duct tape on there because we all know how easy that is to get off a desk surface. All right, we effectively have our print bed. All right, so we got our AC adapter. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Okay, so now we're going to plug it in the back of our 3Doodler. You can see it lit up right there. It turned red. So now we're waiting for this to actually change to a different color. I'm actually going to put it on low because I want to try the PLA filament first. All right, so now apparently we got to wait 60 or 90 seconds for this thing to heat up. All right, so we got a green light and kind of smells like burning plastic. That's a good sign, right? All right, let's start out with the PLA here. PLA is actually a non-toxic type of plastic. All right, looks like we got some black, we got some gray, we got some white. So let me pull a gray, a white, and a clear. I have to say, I really like the way this feels in my hand compared to the last one. I mean, just the ergonomics of it are so much better. All right, so now we're gonna load in the gray. Looks like there's just a little hole here on the back. Let's go ahead and stick it in the hole.
Ladies.
This appears to be a very slow process. Come on. Come on now. Here we go. Filament's coming out. Why is it still coming out? Oh, there we go. Okay, I had to push the button to stop it. Okay, so far so good. So now it said just press it down into the paper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to just make a little box at first. You know, let's start simple here. Okay, so I'm gonna start by using slow. Wow, that's really slow. I got a little booger on the hot end here. Always keep your tip clean.
Always.
Okay, so I learned my first thing. When you push the button, it starts. When you push it again, it stops. So that way you don't have to keep your finger on the button so you can focus more on the drawing. I think that's actually a really good approach. So let's go ahead and try this again. I'm going to try fast because slow is just obnoxiously slow. Okay, let's try pushing it in. Here comes the filament. There it goes. All right. Okay, and then we're going to go this way. I should mention now I am a horrible artist. Okay. So far, so good. This is very easy so far. Okay. And when you stop it, it actually retracts the filament a little, which is very cool because that's what a real 3D printer would do. All right, so let's take this into 3D now because this is a 3Doodler, not a 2Doodler. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Here we go. Going up. Okay, solidify. Okay, that didn't work very well. All right, let's try that again. Maybe this time go slow. Maybe fast is just too much going up. This is how we learn, kids. Okay, I'm gonna hold it until it solidifies. Yes!
Yes!
Okay, let's do it again. Let's try fast this time. There is definitely a learning curve. Okay, that one was way better that time. That one's actually sticking upright correctly. All right, so we're learning. We're learning, folks. All right, let's try again. Going up. Stop. Now, you have to keep tension on it until the filament solidifies. I'm blowing on it a little. There we go. All right. We're getting somewhere. Let's try again. Get the fourth corner. They're getting better, though. They're getting straighter as I go. All right. Going up. Oh, that was a bad one. Going up. Okay, stop. All right, so now we have 4 pillars. We have one that looks like crap, though, and the other 2 look a lot better. Okay, let's see if we can actually connect them. Okay, we're going to go slow. Okay, coming over here. Round in the corner. Oh, no. It's stuck to the nozzle. No! Stop, abort. You get these little clingers on the tip of the nozzle when you mess up, so you gotta make sure you clean those out, otherwise the stuff just comes out and sticks to it.
Do not touch the tip, it's hot.
All right, perhaps the box was a little ambitious. Let's keep going. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Around the corner. Around the corner. All right, we're just gonna keep on going around. This is turning into basket weaving now. Okay, we kind of have a passable cube thing going on here, and we still got some filament left. You definitely get some stringies. You gotta get something to cut the stringies off. All right, let's trim her up a little there. All right, that's better. All right, so there you go, guys. I made a cube. So that's our first attempt. Honestly, that's better than anything I did with the other pen, so far things are looking up. 2 things to note. 1, there is a learning curve. You do have to be pretty crafty and pretty talented and have surgeon-like hands to operate this thing. 2nd thing to note, this is not a 3D printer. This is a pen. 3D printers are very, very precise in how they lay down the material. You can only be so precise after drinking like 3 Red Bulls. Okay, so to change the filament, it says double-click and it'll back the filament out. Let's try that. Okay, the filament does appear to be coming out very slowly. And there we go. Filament's out. All right, I just realized the white filament's not gonna look too good on white paper, so let's try a different color. Let's use the black filaments. All right, again, let's just jam her in the hole. All right, the filament loading and unloading process is pretty slow. There we go, it is now black. All right, I need to clear off my nozzle again. Okay, let's open up this 3Doodle stand so I have a place to put everything. Oh wow, it's quite literally just a plastic stand. So put that there, stick the pen in there. I don't know if you're supposed to put it in there hot, but I did. Okay, so that's probably recommended so you don't burn holes in your desk. One thing to note with the stand, you do have to push the pen into the rubber grommet pretty hard. If you don't, it'll fall out. But honestly, if you trust your kids with something that's this hot and dangerous, I would get the stand and make sure that when they're not using it, it's firmly in that hole just so you can't burn yourself, because that tip is very, very, very hot. All right, we've mastered the cube. Let's try to make a ring for my finger. So this is my actual wedding ring. I'm gonna go ahead and set this down on the paper, and I'm gonna circle it. Uh-oh, nothing's coming out. What's going on? Okay, I think I just had my first clog. There we go. Not sure what caused it, but it stopped feeding. So I had to push on it rather hard to get it started, and now it's printing fine. Okay, so I decided outlining my ring is probably the better thing to do with a Sharpie instead of risking getting plastic all over it. My wife would kill me. Now, as long as I put the plastic on the outside of that ring, it should technically fit on my ring finger. Oh, darn it, I got Sharpie all over the inside of it.
It's alright, maybe she won't notice.
It's actually kind of like drawing with a pen. You could actually do really intricate shapes if it's just right up against the paper like this. All right, here we go, guys. We're making a ring. You ready? Okay, the first layer is down. Second layer is down. Third layer is down. Okay, it's building up pretty nicely. Okay. Cool it down. Okay, obviously some paper got stuck to the underside, but let's see if it worked. How about that? I got a ring. Now, just to let you guys know, 3D printing is a slow process, and this pin is certainly no exception. Ooh, let's do some clear. Okay, so it took a little while to clear out the black with the clear filament, and it did that jam thing again, where it basically just like starts digging into the filament and it doesn't feed anymore. So you have to put it on slow, and then just push on the back of the filament until it starts coming out of the tip again. All right, let's add another layer to our ring here. Ah, jammed again. Okay, while attempting to remove the filament out of the back, the cap popped off. Because if you look, the filament got really, really chewed up inside, so it couldn't come out of the hole anymore. So the back piece popped off so I could slide it out. And it looks like it just clips in. Yeah, it's so you can pop it out when that happens. For a second, I thought I broke it. But it actually makes sense to have that end cap removable because, like I said, if the filament gets chewed up, you're not going to be able to get it out. Now, for some reason, every time I tried to feed the clear filament through, it would just get chewed up and jammed and it wouldn't feed through. So I'm going to throw this stick away and get another one. All right, we're going to try out the white again. Let's go ahead and plug it back in. I got to let it heat up again. You do have to use a little bit of force to get the stick started, and you can tell when it's feeding it because it actually rotates. You can feel it rotating in your finger. All right, I'm clearing out the old filament. Okay, now the filament's pretty white, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. And now it's ready to use. So here we have our ring that I created. Let's go ahead and add some more layers to it. If only I was more artistic. Damn it, it stopped feeding again. All right, I'm going to try the slow setting because for some reason on the high setting, the filament stops feeding and then the thing jams. So let's try the slow speed here. You can hear it slipping on the filament. Yeah, this isn't working. Okay guys, so the PLA is not feeding that well. The first stick of black that I put through it worked really well. Then when I switched to the clear and the white, I had some clogging issues. So it's possible that there's something going on inside of the pen that's causing those clogging issues. But now I'm going to kick it up to its high temp setting, and we're going to try to push some ABS through it and see if the ABS works better. Because I suspect that this thing might struggle with PLA, whereas it won't with ABS. So let's put that to the test. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move it to its high setting with this little switch. Now you can see the color turned blue. Okay, we're now loading the ABS material. It's funny, you can just pick the plastic right off the paper and just peel it up and throw it to the side. Okay, I'm gonna try to make another ring using the ABS and then we'll switch colors and see if it feeds better. So let's go ahead and put it on its fast setting. Okay, there's layer one. You can still see there's quite a bit of black material mixed in with it. If you want, you just have to run it for a while and purge that material out. But again, that's a problem that you'd have with a regular 3D printer also. It takes a very steady hand. You have to be patient and consistent on your speed. Now the ABS does stink. I'm not going to lie. ABS does have a foul odor to it. Some people aren't bothered by it, but I'm not one of those people. I would prefer to print in PLA, but if this thing feeds ABS better, then that's what you should probably use. This is actually building a lot faster in the PLA because I think the PLA was slipping the whole time, so it wasn't feeding as much material. This is going much faster. Okay, and one click to stop. Okay, it peeled away really easy. It's a little too small for that finger. Let's put it on the pinky. There you go. Okay, so now I got a pinky ring that I just created in 3D. That's pretty cool. So now let's put something on it. All right, so let's try doing a color swap and see what happens. Okay, there we go. Came out no problem. Let's go with some neon green. How about that? So the material swap is completed. Now, if you're doing an actual project, I would get a different piece of paper to clean the nozzle off on. All right, so now we have our little ring here. Let's go ahead and put something onto it and hopefully not burn myself. Let's give it a big old diamond. How about that? Now we got a little green diamond on top here. Let's try that on. There you go. Look at that. That's stylish, right? Any woman would like it if you proposed with that ring.
Am I right, ladies? Am I right?
Okay, so we made the cube with the PLA. It was difficult. The ABS works a lot better. Honestly, even though the pen supports PLA, the ABS just lays down a lot easier. It doesn't clog when you switch colors. So I would say the ABS is what you'd primarily want to use with this. Alright guys, if I'm being totally honest with myself, I'm not that artistic of a person. It's obvious that to create stuff like this, like the glasses with all the little space invaders and the different colors and everything, I'm sure somebody quite literally spent hours making this. So it is possible to make really cool things with this pen. But honestly, I don't have the patience for it. But that being said, I'm going to show you one really amazing use for this pen if you have another 3D printer and you want the ultimate tool for putting things together. Alright, so I hit another snag. The filament feeding through here got too short for me to be able to pull out, and it's not feeding anymore. It's just slipping on the gear. So that's what this little tool is for. You just take the little wrench and remove the hot end. Make sure you don't touch it because it's hot as hell. Okay, that was easy enough. And then it just said just to feed this back through the nozzle to unclog it. There we go. Took a little force, but now I'm able to remove the filament. But you can see it's all chewed up on the end. And when it gets chewed up like that, I can't feed it any longer. Now, I've had this happen a couple times throughout this review. And the other pen jammed too, so at least this one comes with a tool to clear it. But just realize if you get this, you are going to experience jams. You are going to need to use this tool and the wrench to remove the hot end. It's inevitable. So I'm going to go ahead and put the hot end back on there, just using the little wrench. Twist it in there. At least that's easy. It's very easy to get the hot end off this thing. The other pen that I tried had a permanent hot end. There we go. Okay, we should be back in business. Put the cap on the back. Grab a new strip of gray. Now, while that's heating up the PLA to fix the gun, I'll show you the nozzle set. I'm not going to open it for the purpose of this review because it's just different shapes of nozzles for different types of extrusion. I'm just going to focus on the extrusion that it has right out of the box. It also has a smoothing tool inside of it too that you can put on the tip and use it like a hot knife to basically smooth things over and make them look a little bit better. I'm just trying to clear this old ABS out. Okay, so now that we got the gray filament loaded, here is our broken pistol here. Now this is where I like this stuff. So I went ahead and put some gray filament in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just extrude some filament into the crack here. Oh, it's jamming. Don't jam. Damn you. And now you can see we just welded that shut. Again, I can see there's a little bead across there of plastic. Now I can sand that down flush and it'll be the same plastic as the rest of it. But that's what I really like these 3D printing pens for, is filling in cracks. Now, the biggest problem I see with this one is switching back and forth between the PLA and the ABS material. It seems like it clogs a lot while it's trying to clear out the remnants of the previous material that was in there. They do have the tools to unclog it, but that does present a pretty major issue. Alright guys, well that was the live unboxing and the first use of the 3Doodler. Now the thing I want to iterate right now is that the 3D printing pen is not a 3D printer. It's a 3D printing pen, and it takes the skill of the human hand to make the thing produce something beautiful. This is about the best I could come up with was a little carrot ring that I'm going to give to Xander later. Now let's address the pros and cons of this. Now clearly I had a big problem with clogging where I would just start going along and the nozzle would get blocked just a little too much, or there'd be some other filament left from the previous plastic in there, and it would basically, the gear would just eat through the plastic and it wouldn't feed anymore. And then I would have to either force it through or forcibly back it out and replace it, which ate up quite a bit of time. Now had I remained working with the same type of plastic throughout the entire project, I probably would have had slightly better results. But still, between the loading time, the unloading time, and the amount of filament you have to extrude to clear the previous color from it, it does consume a lot of time. I'd imagine these glasses that they made for me probably took hours, if not an entire day, maybe even multiple days for one of their people to create. And I must say that I like them. These glasses are actually really baller. Now, the actual build quality on the pen itself is fantastic. When you hold it in your hand, it's very, very sturdy. It feels solid, and it's got the cap that can remove at the back right there, and it's got a thing at the front that you can remove. You can easily take it apart with tools, and no matter how gummed up or fudged up you get the inside of this thing, you're gonna be able to get it fixed. Now, with the cheap pen that I bought from Amazon previously, that wasn't true. I actually burned through 2 of them, and all I used them for was gluing things together like I showed you with the Halo pistol. Now, the other thing is it's cool that it has 2 temperatures, and it holds very ergonomically. You'll notice that when you're drawing with it, you don't have to hold the button down the entire time. You have a fast and a slow speed, though I found the slow speed to be obnoxiously slow. I would have to see some kind of weird scenario where you'd need it to be that steady. So I mostly use the fast speed. Now, some of the problems I did experience with it that I did experience with the cheaper pen is when you're extruding massive amounts of material, I did notice that it did start to slow down with the extrusion a little bit because the head on it starts to cool off faster because the material's feeding through at a higher rate of speed. Now, that's something that I hope that they correct in a future version. I also like that they provided the tool to actually push the filament through when it gets too short, because on my other pen, if it got too short, you had to pretty much just hold it down until it extruded the entire stick of plastic, which would take a very long time, and it was hugely wasteful. Now, after going through the manual, there's a couple of things that I could have done better, like feeding the material by screwing it counterclockwise instead of pushing it. It may have fed into the gear a little bit easier. So all in all, as far as 3D printing pens go, it is the best one that I've used, but just know that if you get one of these, that you are gonna have to have a level of patience. And if you do get one of these for like your kids for a craft project, you're gonna wanna supervise them because it has a very hot tip on it. And if it does get clogged, you're gonna wanna help them with that because you're not gonna want them unscrewing this very, very hot tip and feeding a tool through there. That's something that only an adult should do. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this review of the 3Doodler. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have any further questions, or come over and tweet me. I am at Barnacules. Also, if you would like to purchase your own 3Doodler Create, I have a link down in the video description, and when you use that link, it helps the channel. But I will say this, guys, if you have a 3D printer and you need the ultimate companion tool to glue together larger 3D prints, these things are awesome, and I highly recommend that you get one. All right, guys, that's about it. Until next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also, come over to Twitter. I'm at Barnacules. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.